No.
Right. We are on take 2. We are on take 2. Georgia's podcast, Politics for Dummies.
Which is quite ironic now, seeing as she wasn't
recording the first 5 minutes of that little segment, but it's fine because we didn't get very far because, surprise, surprise, we're dummies. So I'm joined here with Nico Vitti.
Hey.
And I'm Georgia. And we're going to get stuck right in to a little bit of Politics for Dummies. So I've done a little bit of research into what I'm interested in, and I've tried to do a good job at understanding to its full extent.
Yeah.
But please keep in mind, I am not an MP. I have not gone to Parliament. I have tried my best to make it as accurate and translatable as possible, but it was very, very difficult doing the research
and
on this.
I don't know anything about politics. Aww. So she's here to teach me.
That's the aim of the game.
Yeah.
So to get things started, we've established who Carol Vorderman is. Which in the first,
guys,
in the
can't
first,
hear this part, but
yeah, we did miss out on a very funny clip of Nico not actually knowing who Carol Vorderman was, and I told her that she was on Countdown, to which Nico's response was to count down. So, thank God we've skipped that bit for Nico's sake. But Carol Vorderman, she's a very outspoken woman, she's very political. She came out and said it's not political, she's not left-wing or right-wing when it comes to corruption. Corruption is corruption, no matter what side of the spectrum it's on. Yeah. So she ended up coming out saying that the government was patently corrupt, and that she's never seen a government so corrupt at all, which is true. I think
why does she not, why does she do anything else, or is she just the countdown woman? She's
a genius. She's a broadcaster, so she was a lot into journalism and writing, so she knows a lot about politics, and she is very she's very straightforward. She's not very, I don't know how to describe it. She doesn't mess about. She says what needs to be said. But I've actually only really seen Carol Vorderman talking about this.
Yeah.
Because what a big surprise, it's being hush, 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 hush.
And as most things.
She says, and I quote, preceding Johnson becoming Prime Minister, approximately 5.5 billion of fraud and waste is gone on government department. Which is money, taxpayers' money, basically.
It's just gone on their parties, their dinners, and fattening up Boris Johnson.
Agree to disagree, or agree to agree?
Agree to agree?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Yeah. But, get this. Our lovely, 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 lovely Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who used to be Chancellor...
What do you mean lucky?
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Lovely. Same thing.
Said with sarcastic eyes for the audio listeners.
Okay. Well, I didn't even get that part, so, you know.
It's actually quadrupled to 21 billion in fraud as Rishi Sunak as Chancellor. And this information was not recorded. You're not that into politics, but that's something that you would probably want to hear about.
Well, yeah. But of course it's all hush hush. Okay, as much as I don't follow politics or anything.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be more widely known. Because as much as I don't hear stuff like this, it's like this stuff should be being told in colleges and schools. I should have heard about this through social media, anything, but I haven't. Maybe that is just me being thick.
I mean, it's just it just shows how corrupt the government is, because the point of the media is almost to reflect the public's opinion.
Yeah.
And it's to a point now where we can't trust the media. The BBC itself is meant to be impartial, but then there are certain people that are in charge of the BBC that seem to get a big fat payout from certain members of certain parties and all that. So it's the big question is it really that impartial?
Yeah.
How far can it be taken? But it's stuff like when information gets released, if you look at when this stuff gets released, it's not an accident that it goes unheard of. Yeah. For instance, well, I'll get into it later, but there was a thing called a Signet, which is to do with COVID and that type of healthcare, and that information was not available to the public until it was demanded to be made available, for legal reasons, and then it was suspiciously released the day that Harry from the royal family appeared in court.
Oh, so that did overshadow.
So that did not make front headlines. So that happened.
Where's Harry in court?
Oh, God knows. Hey, Harry and Meghan. I don't really pay attention to them. I think that's going a bit too far on my part.
My grandma has very strong opinions on that, but...
I think everyone's grandma has some strong opinions. So, yeah, the media was what's used to scrutinise and create genuine change to the government. So it's pretty bloody impossible...
Yeah.
...to get this change done if the media is working against us.
The BBC used to be so highly respected and so...
It's just not anymore.
They're in the war at the moment with the whole...
the middle finger incident. I mean, when I got into media, I wanted to be a journalist, wanted to be a TV presenter. That's
something you would do, though. You're the type to have just, as it's going to
stuck a middle finger up, and then the camera.
Her face scared me.
But I'll tell you what, I would have given her a rise.
She brought so much publicity.
First of all, yes, for the publicity, and second of all, to change that quickly and keep, because if I did that, I just know I'd crack up laughing 2 seconds later. To keep her cool after that happening, you've got to go fair play.
That now, she's done that before.
Stuff like you think she's the only one?
You know, they've all done stuff.
Someone behind the camera probably stuck a middle finger up to her, and then went, "Watch this." Pressed the button, and went, "Hey, got you." That's all thanks to you for giving me a shit Secret Santa present. That's probably what it was about.
But you know what? That brought so much publicity, right? Because the amount of people our age that don't watch the news, I don't watch the news, I don't care. The amount of people that are probably like more inclined to watch it now because they're like, oh, this stuff happens on BBC
I'm
News,
tired
whatever.
of the news. I think it's a joke these days. Some of the stuff they come up. This has been one of my favourite moments on the news when Brexit was going on. And it was, I think it was ITV, and they were saying, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was intentional to kind of show the changes of Brexit. Due to Brexit, there's been an increase in food costs. Aww. But don't worry, there's been a decrease in cost of machinery like washing machines. So we have to pay more for food, stuff that we actually need to do. But if you want to buy a new washing machine,
okay, but does that not slightly cancel it out?
How often do you buy washing machines, Nico? How often? I've never woken up and gone, fuck, I really go for a washing machine right now. Let me pop down to Curry's. Next day delivery on Argos.
I completely misunderstood what you... I thought you meant
let me eat this lovely washing machine.
No, but I thought you meant the cost to run a washing machine.
No. The price of actual washing machines. As a unit. So, don't worry, guys.
Guys, we're fine.
We're good. We are good.
You know what?
Here's some statistics that I found, and we know the government's corrupt as well. We've been known. So this is from Transparency International UK, and they interview. Their whole thing is breaking down corruption. They don't want anything to do with it. And so basically bring out the world's largest public opinion survey, and they actually said that so this is in 2013. So for context, I mean, if you think about it, it's been 10 years since this, and I can tell you now the corruption's only gotten worse.
Yeah.
So take that in perspective. So the world's largest public opinion survey says corruption is increasing, most corrupt being the media. Yeah. Which isn't great because that's meant to be the thing that calls out corruption.
Yeah.
So
because everything either gets banned or taken down or handed over, there's no winning.
So the only thing the public can really, really use to actually get change, the media, if they're the most corrupt, then we've got absolutely no chance.
The thing is, I feel like corrupting the media, and I could be stupid about this, right? But I just feel like it doesn't make sense for the people, because it's like...
But it's not for the people.
No, not for the people, that's not what I mean.
No, the media's meant to be for the people, but it's not anymore.
It doesn't make sense for the government to be trying to overshadow things on the media, because it's like, people are now, instead of as much as protests still happen, instead of protesting on the streets, which they don't like because it causes disruptions, it causes chaos, whatever, people are protesting on the media. I honestly think for them that's the better of the two, because
that's a good point.
If people can't use the media, they have to. They have no choice.
It gets to extreme.
Yeah, they have to go to extreme lengths, and then that messes up a lot of other things. But they have to do it because there's no other choice.
Yeah, we're kind of being backed into a corner here, and then when we do want to protest. See how everything seems to be on loop here, where we're basically just getting shafted and shafted and shafted again.
Yeah.
So it does the survey with 144,000 people across 107 countries, and so they're focusing on the UK. 65% of people believe corruption had increased between 2011 to 2013. Now I don't even want to think about what percentage that is now, because
that's horrific.
67% of people believe political parties are corrupt. 55% believe corruption is a serious problem in Parliament. 90% of people believe the government is run by a few big entities acting in their own interest.
Yeah.
Now that I believe that wholeheartedly. 90%. 90% of people believe that.
I just don't understand how, because it's like democracy does not mean democracy. Like democracy, there's not a good selection, right? Democracy would mean having someone representing
the UK, the cradle of democracy, everyone.
Yeah.
And it's what we're meant to be.
There should be more and more, like, and I don't really understand how the parties thing work, but there is not a single good party. Like, there is not a single party that is good. And the thing is, I do understand to an extent you can't please everyone.
Yeah.
But in a lot of cases, there is a very simple right and wrong.
Yeah.
And there is no party that represents the majority. Every party represents the 1%.
Well, so
the minority who are extremely rich, extremely fortunate, and the people who aren't like that or are of minorities or whatever, they just don't get a look at.
So I'll explain kind of how the voting all works, because I think it just kind of puts into perspective how, like, because when we vote on stuff, so there's elections and there's referendums, which are two different things.
I don't know what a referendum is.
So a referendum is, the government do not like doing referendums because they have like almost no control over what the outcome is going to be.
Okay.
So referendums, plus there are a lot of time and effort. It's literally a vote, yes or no, almost. So Brexit was a referendum.
Yeah.
We all went and voted.
How Brexit happened.
We all basically all went, not us, but we went and said yes or no. Do we want to leave? Yes or no. Simple as. And then say there's 100 people. If 70 people vote yes, 70 people vote yes, 70% done.
Yeah.
But elections are different. So it's the first past the post system.
Yeah.
And so how that is, so first you go to the election day, you got a ballot paper. So you don't vote really for what you want to happen. So there'll be like meetings.
Vote for a person, don't you?
Yeah. So you'll go to like a few meetings, or like you'll get something through the letterbox saying, hey, I'm this person from your constituency, vote for me for this, this and this.
Yeah.
So what you do is you vote for your person in your constituency, you go in, there's ballot paper, and you basically tick the box of the person that you want to represent your constituency. But this tends to lead to minority voting.
Yeah.
So if we think about it, so say you've got like 5 like candidates, and one candidate could get, say, like, I don't know, a certain percentage of votes, and it could be the most votes, like the highest percentage, but that percentage might only be 38% or something like that.
Yeah.
So in that workings is 38% voted for them and they've got the highest amount of votes.
But that is in
but
no
but
way
but 62% of the people don't want you to be.
Yeah.
Aww. So you see how that kind of works out to be a bit.
Yeah.
And then we've also got so they'll gain a seat in Parliament. So there's 650 constituencies, I'm pretty sure.
What's a constituency?
So our constituency will be I'm from Marlow, so mine is the Beaconsfield constituency. You probably will be too.
No, I think I'm in
Maidenhead. You might be Maidenhead.
Windsor.
Yeah, you might be that. And so that's our constituency. So I think mine's Joy Morrison, and then they'll gain seats in Parliament, in the House of...
And they all represent their areas?
Yes, in the House of Commons. So there's the House of Commons and there's the House of Lords. The House of Commons is meant to be the people that we vote for.
Yeah.
So quite often it's like... The problem that also people face is, say there's someone from the Labour team, the Labour Party, and some people will vote for someone to be the MP of their constituency just because they're Labour. and not because
of what they stand for.
Not because of what they stand for, or it can be, but it's so difficult to find that middle ground.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, when I always speak to my mum about it, and I'm like, because I don't really know anything about any of the parties, because honestly, politics is depressing. As much as I probably should educate myself a bit on it, and I am today, I don't really...
Smashing.
I don't really want to be that... Like, I don't really want to know...
Yeah, I mean, I asked my mum. My mum doesn't vote, and I was like, "Why don't you vote?" She's like, "There's no one to vote for, and I'm not educated enough to make that vote, so I'm just not going to."
Fair enough. But my mum, she always says, I just can't remember who she votes for. I'm not going to say it on here, but
let's not bait her out.
Yeah, but she always says to me, she goes, "You know what? Like, because my mum, I don't know whether this is the right word, and this could sound bad, but it's not supposed to. She's more left wing, is that? Yeah. Okay, I just
more liberal. Almost.
Yeah, she's more liberal. She's more left wing. And she always says to me, I'm like, well, who do you vote for? Like, what do you go? And she went, you know what? There is not a single party, even the more left wing ones. There's not a single party which I go, yes, I want them to be. Because
the trouble is,
there's like the least bad of a load of bad options.
Because the trouble is with Labour, I find, and I was giving a little bit political in my opinion here, the trouble is I find with Labour is they have some really, really great ideas. Like the things that would make...
Who are Labour?
Labour is left. Okay. So it's mainly like Labour versus Conservative.
Oh, yeah.
So the problem I find with Labour is they say all the right things in a way, like it should be an easy win.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we want to put more money into the schools, we want to put more money into the NHS. But then it gets to this, where the fuck is this money going to come from?
Yeah.
How is this going to work? How are you going to do that?
Like, there is, at this point, it's gone so far, how do they fix it?
Yeah, and it's also, the Conservatives have been, for how many years have they been in Parliament? Longer than 10, I think. 10 years now, way longer than 10 years. So I got to the point where it's like, just give them a go. Like, can someone else can we just try? Because we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
We don't seem to be getting anywhere. I mean, I will give it that the Conservatives aren't all bad. There are some parts that the Conservatives know how to run a government, run it the right way, run it the correct way, run it the legal way. I'm not too sure on, but they can run things their way. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Like, they know how to do things in favour.
They know the system.
Which, you know what? I'd be surprised if they didn't, because they've been in for so long. They should know that system inside and out. Yeah, like, they should understand that inside and out.
Yes.
I just feel like it's just okay, and this also might sound stupid, I don't know, but I feel like surely the best thing would be get someone who represents not every walk of life, but majority of walks of life, like the complete different ones. Put them all together. They are all in charge, and they all discuss it amongst themselves and come to some sort of middle ground through everyone. There should not be a prime minister. I think there should just be a committee. A committee. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's kind of what they try to do, because there's it's called the cabinet. So when you hear them talk about the cabinet, there'll be the prime minister, and the prime minister will have a cabinet. So there will be
like in Game of Thrones with like the small council.
Yes, exactly like that. Actually, perfect. So there's the Master of Coin, the Treasury, for you politic nerds and don't watch Game of Thrones. Like Master of War and stuff, all that stuff. They kind of have that, but when the Prime Minister can pick and choose, and we've seen quite often is, if the Cabinet are like, no, this guy's like not right in the head, we need to take this into our own hands and vote them out. So the Cabinet can basically go, no, Prime Minister, you're actually not good at your job, fuck off.
But they have to all be in agreement of that.
Pretty much. I think it's majority. I'm not too sure. But then again, the Prime Minister can just say, oh no, I don't want you to be them. And they can basically just enlist a bunch of bum buddies.
Oh, so what? So if the Prime Minister got like any sort of hints that they didn't like him, he'd be like, I want you to do something else. I want you to do this. Yeah. And I'm going to bring someone else in. So there's no winning, really?
Yeah. There's
no
absolutely no. There's
like sort of middle ground. God, Rishi Sunak, everyone thought he was going to be great. I don't know why.
He's very intelligent.
Well, I mean, have you seen the clip of him using a hammer?
Right.
Someone's
no comment on that. No comment on that.
Never had to use a hammer before. That gave me the same vibes as Kendall cutting a cucumber.
I was literally about to say that. Like, yep.
But no, he's very intelligent, and the thing is, I feel like if he used his power right, he could be great. But he doesn't. Very. I think he's very money hungry. And the thing is, the stuff he's come out, and I don't.
But he wasn't voted in. He wasn't voted in by us.
But the thing is, there's no, like, I don't think there's much to discuss about the comments that he said about trans people, stuff like that. However, the thing that really irked me about it was the face he pulled afterwards when everyone starts clapping. He's clearly he's like a pick-me girl of politicians.
I kind of get that. I kind of get that.
He said it. Everyone, like all the politicians are clapping. He's there going.
He just has this robotic vibe. Yeah. Do you know, it's funny you say that. There's this video, and it gets me. And it's basically him talking about immigration. And in theory, I actually quite like the idea. I don't think it's executed very well. Yeah. But the idea was the immigrants that come in. Yeah. To send them to a country like he said Rwanda, which is a deprived country in many aspects. They need more people. They need skilled people, so they need doctors and all that type of stuff. So actually sending these immigrants that have all these skills over there to help, it's a great idea. And there's no war there, and it's but he delivers it in such a manner that seems so unhuman and so unsympathetic.
What, almost just being like, we should just kick him
the smile on his face, it's almost as if he's the Royal Mail driver. So then we're going to move the packages over there and we can all go home and just ignore that. Like, oh, we finish at 9, let's go home. Like, there's a lot more deep.
Everything he says just seems like, as much as
he's not personable at all.
And it's like the amount of stuff he says that it just seems like he's almost just reading things off a script.
Yeah, 100%.
It almost feels like someone is running the show behind him.
Yeah,
he's not.
It's a puppet. Yeah. He's a puppet to someone.
It just feels like, honestly, Margaret Thatcher's in the back. Yeah, she never died.
Beep, 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 beep.
But no, but like,
we've gone on such a tangent right now. We've gone on such a tangent.
But you know, okay, I don't really know much about David Cameron. Was he good or bad?
That's before my time. Same. Before my time.
But I just feel like clips I saw of him, and I'm remembering this from when I was quite a lot younger. Clips I saw of him, he was just, regardless of what his standpoint was, he was just really like friendly. I could be very wrong. Yeah, I could be very wrong.
At least he seemed like a king human.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
There. Whereas
you were voting for someone, not like he. Like
Boris Johnson went on a zip line, whatever.
Oh, Boris! No, do you know what? Funny about Boris Johnson, I find it really, really funny that whenever he's actually, have you seen him doing his Queen's speech after she died?
Yeah.
Perfect English, no stutter, no funny laugh. It was perfectly delivered, so he does know how to speak. But when he needs to deliver something important, he's stumbling over it. He's making a fool of himself. Do you know why?
Beautiful blue passport.
Do you know why? Because the young people that votes actually matter will find it funny, and they're not going to talk about what he's actually saying. They're going to talk about, oh my god, what a bumbling idiot, and just ignore the fact that what he said is just absolutely outrageous.
It's smart.
That's what I'm saying. The media is every little thing.
This is why this stuff needs to be taught in schools, because
there's so many little intricate details on how corrupted. Here's one. So when it comes to voting, there's things called safe seats. 2/3 of all constituencies are known as safe seats. Yeah. So that means that there's a high chance they will vote the same party year in, year out. Yeah. And there's been slight questions on the parties that are like the safe seats that are for the opposing government. Just so happens that the polling booths, there's not as many there.
Oh, what?
Or they'll be harder to get to.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that. So if you say there was like one party had a safe seat, so say the party that was currently running the government, let's just say Conservatives. Not saying they're doing this. I'm not going to. Don't shoot me. So let's say the Conservatives there.
On his way.
They're holding the new election. There's a constituency that is a safe seat for Conservatives. Yeah. Let's say there's 12 polling booths. But say there's a safe seat constituency for Labour. Shit, there's only 3 and they're really hard to get to. It's little details like that can make such a difference in corruption. Like, it could be little things like that. Or I've heard stuff about, I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but parties that are, if it's statistically disabled people, might be more lenient towards Labour.
Yeah.
So let's put the Labour constituencies in fucking polling stations that have got set of stairs and not a ramp. It will be little things like that I've read about.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds really extreme, but
but
it is stuff that I would not put it past them. I would not put it past them.
And I know this is a completely unrelated, but it's the same sort of thing, the way I think about it with stuff like that. When you're, and this is great as we're film students, right? When you're watching films and you go into, like, in our lessons, the detail of, like, they use colour theory, they use this, and it's stuff that you would notice that you'd be like, no, they haven't done that on purpose. They have. Same with this. You see things and you're like, oh, that's a weird coincidence. Oh, that looks stupid.
Because in a way, it is all a show. It's all a show.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then going back to the original thing we were talking about how bills get passed.
Oh, God, I forgot.
So then we get to the constituencies, and they all have seats in the House of Commons. So there's the House of Commons, the House of Lords. House of Commons is where people get voted to sit in there.
Yeah.
And then they work, I'm not too sure how they work it out statistically, but they're awarded seats.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something about how they work it out that's also a bit, like, is that really fair?
Yeah.
And then there's the House of Lords.
Mm-hmm.
The House of Lords is like the House of Commons. It's got a little bit less power.
Yeah.
But they act in the same way, except the House of Lords,
power.
In a way.
They sound like they do.
The House of Lords, you could get a House of Lords through inherit it. These people aren't really voted in. These people are not voted in. So what happens is there's the first reading.
I've never heard of any of them lot. No.
Yeah. So
House of Commons I've heard of.
Yeah, because that's when most of these debates happen on. So then there's the first reading. Mm-hmm. So they come up with a bill. So let's say it's, we want every Christmas tree to have certain amount of lights or whatever. Mm. And so they do the first reading. Yeah. No one makes any comments. They just read it out. Yeah. People go home, sleep on it. And then it gets to the second reading, where they debate on the main principles, and it will basically almost get like ping-ponged in a way between like the House of Lords and the House of Commons. So the House of Commons will go, I really like that idea, we should throw this in here as well. Yeah. It will go to the House of Lords and they'll go, I really like what you've added, but I think we actually need to change it to this. And then it will ping pong back and forth, and they'll edit it and scrutinise it to get to a point. Until it gets to a point. So then it gets to the committee stage where they kind of do all the talking, they discuss this, that and the other. Then there's the report stage where they continue to edit it. And then there's the third reading, which is almost like when it gets to the final moments. Mm. And then they finally agree on a text of the bill before it can become an act, and it's thrown between the houses, and they pass it on to the. And then it's the royal assent. Yeah. So that's when they pass it on to the monarchy, and they do a whole. You actually should go home and watch your royal assent. Watch your royal assent, and it is also. This is completely off topic. Watch videos of when prime ministers get like the ceremony when they go into it.
I didn't know they did get one.
Yeah, it's
like a coronation.
No, almost. It is brilliant. It is brilliant. So there's this thing called the black rod.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have to walk down the aisle almost. Yeah. And the black rod is there, and the black rod is handed to them, and as they walk into the House of, they're about to walk into the House of Commons, and the door is slammed in their face.
What?
And they have to knock on the door.
That's so sweet. That's like me at Harry Potter World.
And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure, if I can recall from year 10 politics and not civilization.
Social, isn't it?
No, politics and citizenship.
Oh yeah.
The black rod, they knock on the door, and it symbolises that they're being let in by the country or whatever. And then they walk down the aisle, and then the Queen or whoever or the King goes, "Yep, well done, pat on the back, you're on the seat now."
The King. They're going to struggle at the next election. King Charles can barely stand
up. Yeah, good point, actually.
He's going to be lying on the floor being like, yeah, well done, mate. Oh.
So, yeah. But going back to safe seats, so 2/3 of constituencies are considered safe seats. So for Conservative, there are 172. So there are 382 safe seats in total constituencies. Yeah. So, let's play a little game. Can you guess... so there's 172 safe seats for Conservatives. Yeah. I've got a few listed. Can you guess a constituency that would possibly be a safe seat for Conservatives?
I don't know.
We're not sitting in one now or anything.
Henley.
That's a town. If I were to...
Buckinghamshire.
Yeah. That's a safe seat.
There you go.
Surrey, Chelsea,
Sussex,
North Yorkshire. So very affluent areas.
Wait, so they're the ones that the Conservatives could go to?
Safe seats. So in Buckinghamshire is known as there's safe.
Does that mean? Is it more likely to be like the posher places then?
Yeah, safe seats for Conservatives.
Okay. So like Sussex and stuff, probably not.
Labour has 165 safe seats. I reckon you'll be able to think big cities.
Brighton.
No, Brighton's Green Party all the way.
Really?
Brighton's like the only place that actually votes for Green Party.
I don't know what Green Party is.
Green Party are the cool people that are never gonna make it there. They have all these brilliant ideas, but it's just never gonna fucking work. Oh, right. It's never gonna work. They're the ones that want to make weed legal and make everything with solar panels and all that stuff, but it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. In a perfect world, Green Party would rule the place and we'd all live happy and we'd all run down the street holding hands, but that's just not how it works.
They just don't have the support to do that.
Yeah, so Labour.
Okay, Labour.
Think North.
Oh, like Leeds?
I'll give you that. Sunderland.
Oh,
Hackney, London. That's a safe seat.
Surprising.
Manchester.
Doesn't surprise me.
Liverpool. And actually, here's a fun fact. The safest seat at all, of all time, was in Liverpool Walton at 86% vote and a 77% majority, which is a big majority to have. Because usually when you hear these, they'll be like, oh, they won with their majority of 28%. You'll be like, what? So that's big up Liverpool for being so hard on that, I guess. 29 safe seats for the Lib Dems.
What's Lib Dem? I feel like they're good.
Liberal Democrats.
Yeah, but I feel like I know they are, but I feel like they're good.
I'm actually not too clued up on the Lib Dems. Neither. I'm going to be real. I
feel like I kind of just hear the word liberal and I'm like, yeah, but then it's just like, probably not. It's a party.
But yeah, they've got 29 safe seats. There's 3 safe seats for the SNP, which is the Scottish National Party, so they're obviously all in Scotland. There was 2 safe seats for, I butchered this pronunciation, Pladcumni, which I think I've just made.
Is that Welsh?
Yes. I've just, honestly, I did not know how to pronounce that, I just guessed, so.
Honestly, it's Welsh.
And 11 for the Northern Ireland parties.
It's Welsh, just sneeze and you've probably got it right.
The Pingdy Pop. The Pingdy Pop.
Wait, what's that town called? When's the silly go? I know the go bit. I don't know the rest.
But here's something I'm really, really passionate about.
You need to wrap this up soon.
Do I need to wrap this up?
It's over half an hour. You're meant to have a 15-minute long podcast. So guys,
so what we've learned is Georgia can fucking waffle on for too fucking long. So that's been me trying to educate Nico as much as I can on the government system right now. So
I feel very educated now.
I thought this was a very intelligent conversation. This is a very intelligent
conversation. I think
we've ever had. Yeah, this is getting saved 100%. Honestly, this is unbelievable. If anyone tries to
call me dumb again, I'm gonna play this.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't. So thank you so much for joining us. So a big thank you to Nico Vitti.
Thank you, Georgia.
And I'll see you soon. Ball pop.